Yeah, good morning YouTube. Finally got a drive sled, or a 2.5 to 3.5 inch drive adapter for these SSDs to put into my Synology expansion bay. These were the two screws I had in originally. They fit properly. For here, the screw holes were back here, but the drive holes were here, so I actually cut this little piece out of one of the drive adapters, screwed it into the hole here, and got these two back corner screws in. The bottom drive 0, pretty much sits on the base, so I think with these two screws on the side and sitting on the base, it's not going anywhere. This one, the upper drive 1, is kind of hanging in the air, so I just took one of the drive adapters and cut the flange off one side, cut the flange off the other side, and then I just screwed them together. The problem is the holes need to be offset a bit. You can see here's the hole in the drive, but there's no hole over here, and then there's this hole here which is too far back for this bracket. So the drive adapter holes were the right spacing, so I was able to use those off of this side, and then I just used this side, and it's basically the mirror image, so I was able to use this hole flipped over here, had to drill one new hole for this screw, and then I used the existing holes that were in the bracket and then just drilled mating holes. And then the only other thing I had to do was there's a little I don't know if you can see those there. There's a little ledge that the drive sits on, and it's got to sit flush to that. And when you had the bracket on, that lifted the drive too high. So this way I found that two 5/16 inch washers were just the right thickness to make up the height difference. So this drive is now screwed in. So I think that'll work. It's kind of a kludge, but I don't know if that's because these are what they call the enterprise drives. They're the DS3500 series. So I don't know if they're different screw hole spacing than normal drives or what, but anyway, I think that's in there. The only thing that would be really neat would be if Synology were to actually make a little SSD cache expansion box, because you can see 95% of this box is empty. The fan runs, but these drives don't even get above room temperature, so they seem to run very cool. You could almost make just a little tiny box, maybe an inch tall, with a, I don't know, maybe they need the circuit board. There's not much of a circuit board. I guess there is some circuit board in there, but yeah, they could make a really tiny little expansion box for these SSD caches. That would be kind of a neat product if they were to come out with one. But yeah, I got them in there. I'm going to get these last two screws out. One drive adapter, I could make this piece out of it, and I got all the screws came in the one adapter kit. So actually for about $5 I could have done that. I thought I might need two adapters, but one was sufficient material. Yeah, it doesn't look all that great, but once the cover's on, I'll never know the difference. So I'll go plug it back in and see if it works.